too much angle in this too. He might play the billiard off the 3 onto the 9. I don't know what he's looking at, but he's certainly going to be hard pushed to get good on this 3 from this angle in the 2. He might just cut the 2, go across table, and depending where he finishes on the 3, if he can get to it, it'll just be the 3-9, and that's fine. Couldn't have played that any better. And it's another break and run for Stubb. And he's certainly added a fair few of these to his tally. He's chasing down Albinario. And now he's within 1, and the lead is 3. Well, I think we said at the beginning that on paper, going by the stats and everything, there was like 3 or 4 racks in this in a win for Cobra. But again, what I also said is that doesn't take into consideration what's going to happen on the table in terms of how good the break is, what good things and bad things happen in the break. And well, good evening everybody. Welcome to BP4 Online. And well, we've got 3 matches left in this tournament. We've got this one loss side match coming up tonight between Mal255 and Spectredawn. The winner of that match is going to be playing the loser of the match that we're watching the end of at the moment, which was the hot seat match between Stubb, Real Poland Power, and Cobra, which, well, as you can see now, Cobra's still trailing by a couple, but it went all the way to the wire. And well, we wait on Mal arriving. Mal hasn't been in. Spectredawn's been in practicing. The assumption is Mal's going to turn up. Good evening to Spectre. Good evening to Hazard. So he's obviously not going to get much in the way of practice in when he comes in, assuming he is going to appear. And of course it's the one loss side, it's a race to 13 only, which suddenly does become a very short race if you end up going 2 or 3 behind early on. Panic stations can set in rather quickly. So who's going to win this? Spectredawn came through his last match against Albinario. Wouldn't say it was a shock win, but going by the way Albinario was playing, it certainly it wasn't expected. But he won by 3 clear racks. Mal had a much easier, or a much more comfortable win against Mr. Fox to get where we are tonight. So Cobra lies in wait, and well, is it going to be take 2 for Cobra against Mal, or is Spectredawn going to be the fly in the ointment? Is he going to cause an upset? I mean, it's about time. He's about due an upset in terms of getting to the final. But these other 2 guys, Cobra and Mal, would be probably the favourites before Spectredawn, but it's so close between them all, there's not much in it. Welcome everybody. Let's just hope we've got a match on here, because we are about 6-7 minutes away, and we can see that Cobra has got it. Yeah, he is. He's within 2 now. He's got it to 18-16. Wit says 13-9 to Mal. He's certainly going to just drop in at the last minute by the look of it. Whether that's time permitting, he might be busy, you don't know, but whether that's a tactical ploy, we don't know. He might just be dashing in the door to make it. Well, Spectredawn was in the room. Yes, there he is. So he's still warming up. And I'm wondering whether Spectredawn's just going to change anything or try anything different, or just going to be single-mindedly going for the jugular every chance he can get. Because obviously Mal will, but I think these two guys are too set in their ways to change much. Mal's not going to change anything. Spectredawn, I doubt it very much. But anything can happen. That's the fascination of this winner breaks. We saw what happened in that match there. Cobra was dead and buried, and with that last lifeline he had of winning the break, he managed to pinch those 3 racks to take the final, or take the match into the final rack decider. Just keeping an eye out to see that Mal's going to turn up. This will be a bit of an anticlimax. There he is. Speak of the devil, he's arrived, so we've got a match. Well, the other news is Steve won't be in tonight. If he is going to be in, it'll be like the other night. He may well appear in Twitch. He said he couldn't be here tonight. Again, work commitments, phone calls, whatever else is going on. So good evening to Mooncake, and welcome to anybody else who's lurking about in the background. An interesting thing today, I actually ended up dozing off in a room. I can't even remember whose room it was I was in this afternoon. And Super Noob was there. And Super Noob, I scrolled up the chat to see what I'd actually missed when I dozed off. And Super Noob doesn't like me saying bad things about people in the stream. Which, the whole idea of voicing an opinion on watching and witnessing what's happening is that you're watching and witnessing and forming an opinion of your own interpretation of what you see going on, and that's what it's about. So Super Noob, it's not about saying bad things, it's about stating what is bad and what is good, and I've always done that, but that is purely my opinion. I won't get everything right, I certainly don't get everything wrong, but any opinion I give is purely my own. But most of the time, most of the players would agree with it when they've played a duff shot or something stupid. So don't take it so seriously, Super Noob. So a couple of minutes away. Let's see what's happening in this match and get this compared to Twitch. Well, here we go. Well, this is the most important break since the last most important break in this match for Cobra. This is the one that counts. This, for a breaking run, needs a ball. Something's gone in. Housey's locking the one. Something else has gone in, and he's got a straight in one. That is straight down the barrel pretty much, and the 3 is very adjacent, so he doesn't have a lot to do with the cue ball. Well, now I'm getting excited, folks. Good evening, Cobra. Now this looks a wee bit more ugly when you get right up to it, though. Look at it. This is not nice. Good evening to
It's
Larry.
amazing how good that looked from back there, but see when you get down behind it.
Good evening to
This is a little
Bedhead.
bit dicey. Now he's jacking up to stun this in.
Well, we're not going to see the end of this.
He's not wanting to run the cue ball.
We're not going to see the end of this. Stop it. It's running over too long. Well, we know what happened anyway. So, I'm going to get on to the tournament tab. We've got the cloth at the right colour because I've tested it this time. And we're all set to go. We had a record attendance the other night there. We had 42 at the peak in the stream. That was not including anybody that was in the room, only those viewers on the stream, and that's the most that I've had, 42. So tell all your friends and everybody else. We've got another couple of big matches coming up after this one. So what's the score going to be? Again, you know, you go by the fact that Spectredawn's not won one of these yet, and I would say 13-10 to Mal. But you know, it's such a short race to 13. Yeah, I don't like a race to 13 in a one-loss side. It's just far too short. In fact, race to 19 still far too short in my book. You know what I'm like. But no, it's just such a big. It could be such a big turnaround in racks with a bad break, a dry break, a couple of breaks and runs, and suddenly the panic station set in. So hard to judge, but I would say 13. What did I say? 13-10 to Mal. I'll stick with that and see what happens. Good evening to Mark, fellow slaphead. And the room is up. Let's get in. And well, let's have a look. Quick look so that we know who's who here, because Mal's in first. And he's the one with the sort of greyish dark cue, so remember that one. Check my little doodle. Check that one. And here we go for the lag. So race to 13, Mal at the bottom of the screen, and Spectredawn at the top. Well, let's just hope we see a very good standard. That's all I'm interested in at the end of the day, that we see something that's good. Well, that lag, well, that's two of the crappiest lags that I've seen by both players. I mean, they were awful, but Spectredawn won it. And Spectredawn immediately gets a ball in the break. Cue ball is going to drop, and Mal with ball in hand should be 1-0 up. He's going to go for the 1-9 combo straight away down the rail. And there you go. In the blink of an eye, a good break by Spectredawn. He won the lag, good break, cue ball got away from him, and Mal is in straight away with a 1-9 combo. He's had a ball on the break. He's going to jump that to pot the one. By the way, that Stubb he's a jammy git, so he is. I mean, the rack that Stubb won against me, what a jammy sod he was. What about that kick combo in the 9 I had? Oh, aye, I've still got it. Well, there's a surprise miss by Mal. And that's somebody that doesn't play 9-ball anymore. There you go. I mean, I've played a lot more games of Cowboy in the last 3 or 4 years than I have 9-ball probably. when I think about it. We had a game of doubles this morning. Did I have a game of doubles at the Cowboy this morning? I think I'd won. And we didn't win. That's all I'm going to say. Good evening to WizKid. There's somebody from out the blue. That's not a bad effort. I mean, it's not complete cover, but it limits what Mal can do here. We've only been able to see that left side of the 2-ball. It's tricky, this, to try and work out a shot that's going to be reasonably safe. And he's just pushing it over. Now, let's have a quick look at that. That certainly solves the problem of a bank. And now Spectredawn has the same issue. You could try thinning the 2 and just pushing it towards the 3, but the danger with that is if the cue ball's exposed, Mal might be tempted into trying to make some sort of combo if it gets too close to the 3. Well, he's trying to use the 9. That's clever. And that's another good safety. Caught on. I'm missing out in that one. What does that mean? I don't practice offline at all. I've got offline. I certainly don't practice. Jesus, by the time I go home, I'm knackered. I can't even keep my eyes open in front of the PC. And I've been off the last 2 days as well. But the problem is, I think I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning again anyway. And I think I went back to. I think I was in the VP lobby about 6 o'clock this morning. Well, Spectredawn's left himself one of these fiddly cuts in the 4, and he's going to have to drag into this just to get the line off that side rail. He needs to miss the 9. He doesn't want to do that. He's okay. Well, I know what I'd be doing. That's probably different from what Spectredawn would be doing. I'd be up and down the table here. Oh, Cotton Eye Joe. I still don't know who that is. See, there's certain things go straight over my head. I work in .com, and before you query the name, 9ball.com, as I've got enough witnesses in here, will tell you, 9ball.com has been my name in VP4 for 20 years, or VP for 20 years. The coincidence is that I now work in .com. So that's there's no other connection in 9ball.com. So, Spectredawn should have this rack sewn up, and we're going to be all square. Good evening to Popman. So all the usual suspects are in the chat. Welcome everybody. Welcome to any new viewers. You're watching Virtual Pool 4 online. We're watching the 3rd last match in this year's Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. Race to 13 in this one loss side. We've got Mal, one of the strong favourites, battling it out with fellow Englishman Spectredawn. The winner of whom will play another Englishman, and that is Cobra. And whoever wins that match will get a chance to deal with the last American in the tournament, and that's Stubb, Wheel Poland Power. And Mal again having a speedy cut at that. Yes, he does seem to be in a hurry, but I think he's done a Stubb. He's got away with it. Yeah, that's what we'll call those. Anything like that, we'll call it a Stubb from now on, because Stubb is one hell of a jammy git, especially against me. Oh, that's a good kick. Now, this is a little twitchy one. Well controlled though. And, well, Mal, you know, barring some earthquake disaster or something, there's no way he's going to mess this up, he says confidently. Is anyone else's chat going off screen? Well, the chat goes off screen to where I've limited it to, if that's what you're asking, Mark. The chat goes off screen below Mal's picture, if that's what you're talking about. I mean, I can stretch the chat so that it's up to the top of the screen, but then you won't see, you know, push out and that sort of thing being called. I just keep it lower than that. But yeah, the chat will go off screen like that. That's where it scrolls out. Anyway, Mal's got the 2-1 lead. That rack's going slightly left by the look of it, or my eyes are getting worse. And 9 ball in the break, and all of a sudden it's 3-1. Golden break time. Stream chat. Yeah, the chat that's on my stream, or the chat that's on Twitch. Is that what you're talking about? Twitch chat. I don't know whether you're watching pop-out chat on Twitch or whether you're actually looking at what the chat is that's coming up on your screen, like what I'm seeing. Yeah. Or maybe it's a problem with Twitch. See, if you're watching Twitch chat, though, you won't see all the other chat that comes in from YouTube. Not that there's many on it, I don't think, but... So, the push out has been called. And again, a nice weighted safety there by Mal. That's got Spectredawn in heaps of trouble, because look at this table. The table is wide open. And Spectredawn trailing 3-1. There's almost an emergency situation here already, because he's got the hit, but he's not got it safe. And, well, it should be 4-1. Oh, who's this in disguise? Is it 7 Daughters? That looks okay. Needs to keep going. He needs to keep running. That's fine. Yeah. Got to be somebody else in disguise. We'll soon know who it is once we start ranting about VP4. Or me. Or one of the two. But you see how quickly this match has gone straight downhill. Mal getting the 2-1 lead, getting the 9 ball in a break. Getting control of the table in this rack with a good safety. And now running out for a 4-1 lead. And that now has put the ball right into Spectredawn's corner. And asking a question, what can you come up with? And he's going to need some assistance. A dry break or something or other to go his way to quickly get back into this match. But the moment, Mal has got a ball, but he's not really got a shot. But it is not a bad safety again. It's again got Spectredawn in trouble because of the distance, because he's limited to what he can see, which is very little. And he's looking for options here. Well, he certainly doesn't want to open up the 2 and the 9, but the 2 is blocked by the 7. He's got the hit, and he may well end up behind the 2 and the 9. No, he hasn't. Now this is actually not bad, the way it's finished for Spectredawn. And Mal's got the double kiss there, which has ruined that safety, but he's also got the knowledge that this 2 isn't going anywhere. You know, even if Spectredawn pots the 1, the 2's got to be a combo to the 7. It's extremely tight to try and squeeze that 2 past the 7. He's got himself in just about as good a spot. Maybe he's gone a wee bit too far, but it gives him a reasonable line to pick the line to that 7. You just got to watch he doesn't push it to the point. He's played it well, controlled it well, the pace was perfect. And this is vital. It's stating the obvious, but it is vital he doesn't muck this up, do anything silly, go too far inside to the rail on this 3 ball like that, which just means he's got more work to do. Again, played that one well. Now how's the line he's got here? Well, he's absolutely dead straight. He's got to go bottom and right English to kick this past the 8 ball. Oh, and he's tried to pinch too much there. He's played that all wrong. He's played that all wrong. You've got to play the shot smooth and with the bottom and right English to execute it right. He's had a proper lash at that. I mean, he was dead straight, but you put the bottom, you go through the shot, put the bottom right English on it, and the English does the rest of it. It brings you up the table to somewhere like that. And that, I'm afraid, is a no-no. He totally lashed out at that. In fact, even playing it with bottom and right English, you hit it way too hard. Way too hard. And I think he is panicking already. I mean, he was 3-1 down, 4-1 down, sorry, with that shot that he had. And, well, that is really shooting yourself right in the foot. And now it's 5-1. You know, this is why the one thing I would question is the tactics against Mal, and slowing the game down and doing whatever you can legally to irritate your opponent is perfectly okay in my book, because it's all part of the game. It's all part of the mind games, and Spectredawn is not helping the situation for himself. He's went about it the wrong way with that shot he played. Now Mal, well, not so much an issue with the 3, but he's trying to stun off the rail, spin off the rail, get up high enough in that 4, and that's pretty good. I mean, there's not an issue here. Even if he runs into the 9, the 5 ball's wide open, and he should be able to go over for the 6, down past the 7. Loads of room, and it's going to be 6-1. Yeah, I saw Mal's video where he gets a bit bored. Well, in my opinion, that's perfectly fine. But if it's something that you do legally at the table that irritates somebody, gets under their skin, then it's fine in my book. As soon as somebody tells me you're playing too slow, then you think I'm going to speed up? No. But you know that's happened in every type of game, every type of sport. You know, you use everything that you can to get one over on your opponent. But as I say, doing rushing shots and banging at balls does not help your situation, regardless of what pace you're playing at. And now it's 6-1, and this match is already running away from Spectredawn. But is that 6 ball going to be much of a safety net? Probably not. Let's have a closer look at it, see what it looks like. Well, it looks a bit tight to actually get at it. Well, this might have gone wrong. That's gone wrong. Mal's hooked himself behind a 6 and 7. Now, if he risks jumping this, he might well do Spectredawn a favour, and actually, if he doesn't get the jump, he may well nudge the 6 and 7 and open them up. But he fancies he can get it. Yeah, and that's exactly what he's done. So it's given Spectredawn a lifeline that he cannot afford to waste. The beauty about winner breaks, though, is that everything could come up rosy for Spectredawn if he runs out and then he breaks and runs in the next rack. It could just get that momentum going for him, and there's no reason why it couldn't happen. Oh, he could have done with getting tighter over to that 6 ball. Again, he's messing about with the 7 here, unless he tries to avoid it completely. And he's managed to just chew off the pace on that shot there. That was well played. I remember I was playing, I might have told this story before, I remember I was playing Matt Magic in a Sunday snooker tournament. Now, Matt's the type of player that likes to pop balls, and he was the type of player that liked you know, most of the people he ended up playing were the type of people that played snooker with no type of thought for safety whatsoever, or strategy. And we got through to the Sunday snooker final one time, and Matt got annoyed because I didn't go for a certain ball, and because I locked him up, and he quit and ran because I wasn't playing the game to his liking. I love that when somebody does that, because you know, you've got them beaten mentally. He thought I should have been taking a certain shot to play another certain shot, and I says, well, you know, that's not how the game works. That's not how competition works. It works by me deciding what I want to do and what I want to do to make your life miserable. And he went in a huff. And I love that. You know, any sign of mental weakness from somebody when you're playing them, you just jump right on it. But anyway, Spectredawn is trailing by 4. And that 4 ball has just squeezed in for Mal. And well, it's already a mountain to climb for Spectredawn. You know, Mal's not going to make that many mistakes. It's simply going to be down to the break. The only thing that can help Spectredawn here is dry brakes, and him himself getting a ball and a shot. That's the only way this match is going to turn. Well, this looks like a dry break. Didn't hear anything go. So, it's a chance for Spectredawn. I say a chance because that 4 ball and 7 are reasonably good as a combo. The only slight problem is the 3's up here. But it could end up in a 2 and a 3-9 anyway, and forget the 4. The 3-9 looks odds on. Until Spectredawn ended up scratching. Goodness me. Well, no sooner had Mooncake typed a 3-9, and no sooner had I looked at it than Spectredawn had scratched. And it's now 8-2. This score is flying the wrong way. It's going to be an obliteration here by Mal at this rate. And we've only been going 25 minutes. You know, yeah, it's Mooncake, isn't it? Don't start confusing me, because I'm getting tired. I did say the right thing though, didn't I? I think I did say the right thing. Yeah, what football's on tonight? I might watch that before I go to bed. Oh, it was good last night before I went to bed. I had I told you guys I've got a new phone, just in case you didn't know. And I was lying in bed with the duvet over my head watching. What the hell was I watching last night? I'll tell you what I was watching. That's what I was watching. I was watching the end of Pale Rider on ITV4, but I was watching it under the duvet on the phone. I was just living back at school. Man United Liverpool. Spectredawn in an almighty heap of trouble here. And, well, I wouldn't be trying to hit the 2-9 because he's just opened it up there. Again, you've got to give yourself some sort of chance to escape, and trying to actually hit the 2-9 when they weren't set. Okay, you're opening yourself up to 2 fouls or whatever. I don't know how many fouls he was on, but all he's done is open it up. He hasn't actually left it on, so he's now going to be going for 3 fouls here. And Spectredawn can't. He's going to have to try and bend round the 9 with right English to check it, to hold it for the 2. And he's got it too much. And it's all going from bad to worse for Spectredawn. He shouldn't have attempted to break that 2-9 with a kick in the first place, I don't think. As you say, here, Pig, the best thing to do would have been to try and lock another ball up, but certainly not try to hit the 2, because the 2 was tied up with the 9, so why go and kick to hit the 2 just to save yourself a foul? You've got to start using your head. And at least give yourself a chance to have at least one shot to bail out, even though you might be in 2 fouls. You're still in the rack, but you're not anymore. I went to, something, when that film was released in 1985, I went to the cinema to see it. And I did, I've never been to the cinema an awful lot, but I made a specific choice of going to watch that film because I thought it was a sort of, it was like an end of career moment for Clint, making his last Western. And many people went to the cinema to see it because that's what we all thought. That was going to be his last Western. That's, you know, a lot of interviews and stuff like that was in the press at the time. It's going to be his last Western because at that time he'd have been well into his 60s. I mean, he's 90 odd now. That was 1985, so I went and saw that when it was originally released. So, and then he made Unforgiven after that. Well, Spectredawn's got the hit and the 1, and the only lifesaver is the 2, 9 and 3 are tied up, but Mal is going to have a dig here. He's going to have a big dig on this 1 ball and try and draw this cue ball down to hit something. I don't believe he's going to try and just pot the 1. Unless he thinks he can chip that 2 onto the 9. He's had a good look at it. He's overhit this, I think. Yeah. I thought he would have hit that a lot harder to actually try and nudge into them. But it's now 9-2 to Mal. And this is a long road back for Spectredawn. That's too heavy. Oh, the 9 ball just killed it a bit, but how much of that 2 is shown? I think Mal thinks he can cut this. I think he can as well. Yeah, he's just pushed it to the jaw. Is it a lifeline for Spectredawn? Not really. It's a very thin cut into the middle. He's got the chance to try and be brave to spin this cue ball in behind the 9 and 3 if he wanted to. And there's plenty of room. That's a good shot. That is a good shot. That was not an easy cut, but he's played it. He's on the 3. 4 into the right middle. 6 up top. Good afternoon to Interchange X. Well, sometimes the difference between winning and losing in a tight match is mind games. That's what Stubbs at all the time. You know, Stubbs at it all the time. But the mind games don't have to be verbal. They don't have to be verbal in the chat. Mind games don't necessarily have to be anything verbal. But if you slow your game up and take your time and don't do things like that, whatever you can do to twist the knife one way or the other, you know, you've got to start using everything. But Spectredawn with a wide open table, getting out of shape, leaving it awkward. And it's another one that's gone. It's double figures now for Mal. It's 10-2. There's no coming back for Spectredawn now, folks. I can say that with great confidence. It'd take an absolute miracle for him to get back in this. So the break from Mal is dry. No shot for Spectredawn. He's gone for the jump and the combo onto the 8. Great shot. Now he has to try and get out, but even so, there's nothing lying perfect for him here. This 3 ball, it's not tight in the rail, but there is a narrow margin to get in and a shot in that, and that's not a lot of room. to get on that, in that little zone. If he gets into that zone off the 2, he can make the cut. But even a wee bit wider than that when you look at it from there, to sort of like that. Well, he's trying to go over to do some damage, and that'll do. He's gone all out for it to get the movement on it. Got a wee bit of luck there. And he's got what looks like a reasonable enough angle to just stun this in and force follow up the table. He's looking to take it in the middle. I don't know what's going through his head, because there was nothing to stop him with the angle that he had to roll that in. I don't think he was convinced he could get away from the 4. But I think the angle was reasonable enough that he possibly could have. But he took on a difficult cut in the middle and he sold the rack again. I think Spectredawn's resigned himself to the inevitable. So, Mal just doing the tidying up job here. So, what does he want to do here? This, again, straightforward, forward with a wee bit of inside maybe. I don't know whether he needed any or not there with the line he had, but he's fine. And he's going to be 2 away from a showdown. And part 2 of the Mal versus Cobra face off in this tournament. And the 2 ball goes in. Not ideal in the 1, but he has a shot. And that nice little brush in the 3. There's just a little bit of traffic here. He's just got to be careful that he at least can see the 4. That's all he's interested in. As long as he can see it, he can at least do something with it. So this is just joining the dots. Well, the one thing Cobra's got in his favour is that he is a wee bit more of a strategist when it comes down to it. You know, if you're only going to go the one way, it doesn't always work for you. Some couple of strange things that Spectredawn's done in this match, but it really went all downhill from the start. It's 12-2, but it is going to be a big showdown. Only race to 13, remember, in the second last match of the tournament. Whenever that's going to be, we don't know. We need to have a look at the bracket and see what the deadlines are again. And this match is over. Well, he's just... No, he's got a slight angle, he's fine. Well, Spectredawn's had his bad match. It's just a pity it's been at this time in the tournament for him. But he was never at the races, I'm afraid. So Mal is going to get through for a revenge job on Cobra. in the semi-final match to see who's going to play stub in the final. So if we bring up the bracket, and I'm going to have to log in again. God's sake. What's my email address? Everybody knows it anyway. VP4 seems to be, I don't know what it is, and I don't know whether everybody else is the same as me, but I seem to be logging into VP4 a lot more than I ever do in any other website. It seems to kick you out and have you log in every now and again. Far too often. Right, I forgot my password. Anyway, somebody can tell me when the deadline dates are anyway. So it's going to be Cobra to play Mal in the showdown. Cobra was the one that sent Mal over to the one-loss side. And then the winner of that match will be the player that plays stub in the final. Well done to Mal. Unlucky to Spectre. And yeah, I think that's let's see if this thing's working here. If I get caps lock on, maybe that's what it was. Oh, I can't remember my bloody email now. Well, I had that email for about 20 years as well. Right, here we go, we're in at last. What's the dates on this thing? Well, today was the deadline date, wasn't it? This is the 13th, is it not? What's today's date? What the hell's today's date? Is this the 13th? Anyway, well, the match between Mal and Cobra, the deadline date is the 17th. So, is that something like, if this is the 13th, Saturday's the 4th, Friday's the 14th, Saturday's the 15th, that next Monday? Is that when the deadline is for that? Yeah, I could do that. I'm pretty certain it is, wasn't it? I need to find the calendar on it. Because I don't see the date on it. And then I need to go through all the apps to find the calendar. And that's what I'm still trying to familiarise myself with. Oh, there we are. I found it. Yeah, so this is the 13th. And the 17th is the Monday. So I was right enough. Which, well, the only thing about that is that's a working day for me, so I would imagine these guys are not going to set it at any silly time. They're both from the UK, so the time will be fine for that, I would think. Now, the final, when's the deadline for it? Just out of curiosity. And that's May the 21st, so that's a long way away, so there's plenty of time. Finals are raced to 25. This last match, is going to be the race to 13. Now, how long did that match last? What, about 40 minutes? Not much more than 40 minutes, that match that we had there. Is that the time you think you are going to play it, Mal? Well, that's fine. I'll be able to get that. So anyway, guys, that is it. We're down to the last two matches in the tournament. We've got the showdown to see who's going to play stub and no doubt we'll keep an eye on the bracket and see that become official. Oh, I forgot about that. Aye, that's another thing. Thank God you reminded me. Wait a minute. Let's see how that's affected the stats, because Mal will have done himself a big favour there, I would think. Mal was in 30 before before this started and the racks ran. Right a minute, hold on a minute, wrong one. And Mal is now on 35. Albanario's in 43, remember, he's got an extra rack. Stubbs there in 40. So obviously Stubb can't improve that until the final. And the thing is that the Cobra Mal match, Cobra's got 3 more than Mal, and either of them could be in front of Stubb by the time the final comes around. So that makes it interesting. So it's going to be either of the 3 there. Obviously there's only 3 left now, but and Cobra has that 3 rack advantage. So let's have a look at the common stats, because Stubb had caught up with the shot percentage. Let's have a look. In fact, Mal has now jumped ahead of Stubb in that match. Mal has now gone to 83. Who's that PMing me? Mal has now gone to 83. Stubbs on 82.97. Albanario is stuck in 84. He won't change. In fact, he's 84.7 and Cobra's at 84.72. So very, very close there in the shot percentage. What about the break stats? Let's count the breaks. Where you get Stubb on 8.1 or 0.81. You've got Cobra on 0.86. You've got Albanario on 0.95, but that's obviously him finished. And you get Mal in 0.8. So Mal's break's not been working that great for him. And God help anybody when his break starts to work really great for him. And Spectredawn, as you can see, he's way down there, 0.7. So the stats are bearing out at the end in terms of the players that are left in the tournament, because the players that are left in the tournament, with the exception of Albanario, have all got the best stats. So they have run-outs from the break. Well, that's right enough. What was the other one I was going to look at? The money balls, shot, and Stubb and Cobra are neck and neck. 104 money ball shot. Both of them have got 102. And that is 98.08. Now Albanario missed his in that last match he had. He was 95. He's got 94 and he's stuck in 98.95. And Mal has shot 92 and got 90. So he's in 97.83. So again, the stats are very good there. And I think that is about it, because I'm getting bored reading stats now, guys. I'm off for a coffee. Right, so let me just have a read at the chat that I missed there. So it's going to be Sunday night at 7 PM, Mal. Well, that's good. Good luck. And I hope you all can join us. Oh, is that Steve sending a... Steve sent me a PM there. It says, wow, went to go to the match and already over. I'll just type in a message. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and if you can, join us on Sunday night. We'll be back for the second last match in the tournament.